we can just go up another level where we have more energy, we're happier at the end of the day, and we feel fulfilled. And honestly, those three things, who wouldn't want that? Hey everyone, welcome to the Highest Version Podcast. I'm your host, Rating Phil Vong, and on this podcast, we talk about falling in love with the process of getting better every day and becoming the highest version of ourselves. Now, as we all know, the most expensive currency in our life is time. The reason for that is because life is too short, and time is something that we cannot get back. You see, when it came to my career or any task that I'm working on or content creation, I didn't take breaks. And because of that, I was unhappy and I burnt myself out. And even if I did have a break, I would be using those minutes to just scroll through my phone. Not anything that would be either progressing towards my goal or something that, just genuinely made me happy. I feel like a lot of people can resonate with this in the sense of there's not enough time in the day. There's a million things that we want to do. Sometimes we wish, we're robots and, didn't need sleep, didn't need things to keep ourselves going at a very fast pace. But that's just not the reality of it. And having such a limit on how much time there is in a day and how much limit there is on my energy, I realized that I need to be more intentional with my time in order to maximize what I want to do. And I feel like this is what really helped me out with therapy, because after every session, I would say, hey, what homework can I do to either work on the new exercise or tool that we just talked about, or how can I continue to strengthen that? I feel like that got me out of a very dark place and a very much faster time. I scroll through Instagram and TikTok too. There'd be some times that I'll be taking an hour and just scrolling and being like, what the did I just do for that amount of time? I'm not gonna shame anyone for it because it's the age that we live in. It's kind of the technology world that society has come to, and that's okay. That's just the world. That's just what we're used to, right? But if we want to be more intentional with maximizing the amount of time that we have in a day, then we kind of have to decrease that activity in order to maybe achieve our goals at a faster rate or learn as much as we can in such a short amount of time. So without further ado, here are 3 steps to become more intentional. Step 1 is to take an audit of your life for a week. Now, if you're not familiar with the word audit, it's basically like an inspection of an organization's accounts. In this case, you would be auditing / looking at how you are spending your time. Now, I don't want you to do anything different about I'll make sure at this time I'll be more intentional with going to the gym or anything like that. No, I want you to just simply keep going with your life, but recording what you're doing. And to the point where you can get to as close to a minute as much as you can. And the reason why I say this is because this is where we're gonna find pockets of time where we can be more intentional. So I'll give you an example. 6 a.m. wake up, 6:15 get out of bed, 6:20 brush teeth, kind of like something along those lines. I don't want you to be so like timing yourself and everything, just kind of like a ballpark area, just so that you can find, these little pockets where maybe you can set forth that mindset to be more intentional. We just want to find those times where we can be using it more in the way that we want to grow ourselves. Step 2 is finding those pockets of time. So by the end of the week, when you look at it from a bigger scale of where can I be more intentional? Where can I fit in more time to either look up, how to build financial wealth, real estate, building on a career, or taking care of mental health when, this certain event happens. There are endless possibilities to how we can substitute our time. So to give you an example of something that I identified, maybe 15 to 20 minutes where I was just scrolling on my phone and not really doing much with that time. And now even thinking about 15 minutes is a really long time. So maybe it was 5 minutes or so. But even if it was 15 minutes, okay, cool. I identified this is the pocket of time where I can be more intentional. I can substitute those 15 minutes to stretch, to write down my grocery list that I need to, or figure out a new workout plan, meal prep. There's so many things that you can do within those 15 minutes. And for anyone that knows that holding a plank for a minute is really hard, at least it is for me. And it's a really long time. So when you think about it, 15 minutes, you can do a lot within those 15 minutes and really use that to either work towards your goals or, do something that makes you genuinely happy, right? It doesn't have to be something that's always work, career, passion related. You could sit down, step away from your computer, and listen to that album that you've been wanting to listen to, for the past week or so. And I feel like by the end of it, you'd be like, oh, great. Like I use those 15 minutes to either de-stress from whatever thing I'm focused on at work. But you can just see how much I can think of ways in those 15 minutes, 5 minutes that we can really push that towards what we want to do. Step 3 is now implementing it. And this is something that you can slowly build on. You don't have to do everything at once. If you read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, he sets a structure of like, you can build off a habit by not by identifying, but write it down like, okay, after you do this action, you'll do this habit. And after that habit, you do this habit. So we can kind of do the same thing here, right? So after you log off of work, you close the laptop, you're like, okay, I'm gonna get up and stretch for 10 to 15 minutes before I start making dinner. Or maybe 30 minutes of focused work. I'm gonna take 10 minutes to clear out some photos in my storage because I only have 64 gigabytes of memory, and I'm always getting that not enough storage message, which is really frustrating, and I really need to upgrade my phone. But that is something that you can do too. Once you start to really identify those things and what you want to do with your breaks, or even those habits of time, right? Even after your working hours or wherever the time that you're doing focus work, you can start implementing things slowly and build and build and build to the point where you have these habits that really help you build the life that you want. Help yourself work towards those goals that you want to achieve. I know I gave a lot of examples on my end, but I think through my experience, I felt like I really just leveled up with being intentional with my time, especially with waking up early, going to the gym, trying to maximize the amount of time, but obviously preparing the night before to make sure that I have enough energy to start my day and not, work off of 2-3 hours of sleep. We're not machines, we're not robots. Like we have a capacity on our energy, and like I've been saying this entire time, our time. Give yourself compassion and grace for yourself, but understand that if you want to get after your goals and maybe at a faster rate, I feel like this sort of intentionality exercise can really bring yourself to a different level. Find what's best for you, what works best for you, what makes you happy, what makes you feel fulfilled by the end of your day outside of work, and you give yourself more energy throughout the day. You know what I mean? Like in the afternoon slump, right? Instead of scrolling on your phone, use that time to throw a dance party with yourself and listen to music, vibe out, groove out. Like that is something that can give you energy, can give you feel fulfilled and happy to get on with, the rest of the hours that you have left in the day or the remaining work hours that you have. I just feel like when we're intentional with our breaks, intentional with our time, we can just go up another level where we have more energy, we're happier at the end of the day, and we feel fulfilled. And honestly, those 3 things, who wouldn't want that? From a mental health standpoint, I don't want you to feel shameful and guilty when you find yourself scrolling. Like I said before, it's the age that we live in. It's something that we all do, and that's okay. We adapt. We identify those pockets of time that we're doing it and just take the next opportunity to do something intentional. Like we are not robots, and we need to give ourselves grace and compassion when we find ourselves in those situations where, maybe we're not as intentional, and that's okay. We're not perfect. I'm not asking you to be perfect. I'm just trying to help you get to a place where you feel like you are maximizing your time in the way that you want to. Again, kind of around this whole idea of building the life that you want and taking, life's limits that, that are on us energy and time wise to maximize ways that you can build the life that you want. And that's what I want for yourself, to be happy in that sense and to be proud of yourself for all that you've been able to do. And not only that, you have to have fun with life too. Like you can't just always be go and always working hard. Like you should be able to enjoy life and do the things that bring you happiness. And that's why I suggest things like, listening to music, having a dance party by yourself, just things that genuinely bring you energy throughout the day. I really hope you like this episode for 3 steps that you could be more intentional with your time. If you felt like you liked something resonated with you, please share, comment, subscribe. It means a lot to me to continue to build the community and make a bigger impact together. And as always, guys, let's fall in love with the process of getting better every day and becoming the highest version of ourselves. Love y'all.